right. What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing? Hello. I hope you're doing great. Hope you guys had a good week. What's up, guys? How's everybody? Hope your week has been great. Welcome to another live. Man, this is what, number 5 or something like that? Number 4 or something? That's cool. Yeah, man. So you see below, today's topic is never covered on YouTube. And a couple of my subscribers had chimed in the comment section in a couple of videos and asked me if I could elaborate on and just bring this topic to the people. And so I like to be pretty quick to ideas and talk to you guys about it, and then obviously what I was going through as well. So it'll be my personal experience as well. I'll pepper it in, while we go through this live. But I got some good examples for you guys. I got some really valuable information for you guys. And so today's topic is going to be based on my last video, right? The last one I just dropped, talking about contracts. And if you are interested in working here in Vietnam, you got to be careful about signing the right contract and reading the fine print. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to tell you about apartment contracts as well. So if you sign a contract that is, let's just say, a landlord for apartments here, it's easy to get an apartment, but landlords here, they know that we don't know anything, right? So make sure you sign the right contract for your job, and make sure you sign the right contract for your apartment. So when you get here, this is what this live is going to be about. So I got a lot of stuff for you guys. I've been super busy behind the scenes. So I just got back from the countryside early this morning. So I'm a little tired right now, but I'm here for you guys. So let's jump into it, man. Let's jump into it, and bear with me here. So my question to you guys is, if you have lived in Vietnam, have you ever been burned by a bad contract that you signed, that you didn't know that it was a bad contract, and then once you got into the job, you realize, oh shoot, this is not a good situation, right? I can't tell you how many foreigners here that come here with these vast dreams, and they get shot down, man, because Vietnam, the real Vietnam will beat you down and challenge you every single day. And if you're not ready for that kind of pressure, it could consume you in multiple different bad ways. And so that's why it's important that you have a little bit of a network here, where you can just talk to other foreigners and expats about what is really going on, and just share with each other, because that's what we do. That's generally, you come down here, you find your tribe, and then you guys just hang out in that city or wherever you're at, the countryside, and you get to know these people. Not every expat is a good expat, all right? So I always give you guys the real deal of what's going on here in Vietnam. So behind the scenes. So, I would just say this. If you decide to get into a contract with a company, I would definitely make sure that you consult an attorney, and I would definitely make sure that you that get an attorney, and then I would make sure that you read all of it, read all the contract, okay? And that's for your apartment as well. So yeah, let's dive into this here. On your way in, make sure you like this video so it can push it out, because this topic here is not talked about on YouTube. All right. Probably not, and so I want more people. I want to share the real with more people and what you can expect, because I'm not here to just give you guys the fluff. I'm here to make sure you guys, get taken care of, right? Because this is a whole new world over here. This is a whole new world. All right. So I've been doing that for 6 years, and trust me, it's crazy, man. You're going to want someone that has your back, even if it's not an attorney, someone who's been through it before. Hit me up on my email, okay? TheStoryofKT@gmail, and I'll walk you through it, and I'll do the best I can for you guys. All right. All right. So let's jump into it, man. So segment 1. And for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Kevin. I'm an expat that's lived in Vietnam for 6 years. And I started this YouTube channel 18 months ago to showcase Vietnam to you guys and just give you guys the real deal, So if you guys like that kind of content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, man. I really appreciate it. Definitely. I always forget that. I always think that it's just my return audience that comes to me, but I forget that I get a ton of new people. And so you guys are like, who's this dude? All right. So segment number 1. So common contract traps. Say that 3 times fast. Common contract traps. Okay. Bear with me. I'm going to share my screen with y'all. We're going to go, and first we're going to go over, talk about some, I'm going to go to a Reddit that I saw, and we're going to read it, and it's going to give some good insights for you guys, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Leave your comments in the comment section for me, and then that way I can pull them up on air for you. So common contract traps. Common contract traps. All right. So generally, let's go like this. Sorry. Let me go right here. Okay. Contract traps. I would watch out for jobs, right? So we're talking about jobs, and then I'll go to rentals. All right. So jobs, they generally will have fake schools, right? And what I mean by fake schools is that much like I just got into this last 6 months, 5 months, is they're a fake school, meaning like they're a fake university, and so they have no credentials, which meaning they cannot teach that program. Okay, so they can have that. They can have they're just not accredited. I'll just say it like that to save a long wind. They're just not accredited. So fake schools, and then illegal contracts. So you guys are like, well, I don't know what an illegal contract is, right? It's really tricky because, again, if I were you, I would look up labor laws in Vietnam here. What I'll do is, if we have some time at the end, I will bring up labor laws for you guys. All right, and then we'll go over it live here. So illegal contracts. Just make sure that these contracts are not. I'll give you some examples a little bit later, but make sure that you guys don't sign or don't sign anything. To be honest, once you get into HR and you understand language and what the labor laws say here, I would make sure that you guys consult an attorney. Honestly, really, it's really that serious. And because your contract is going to be tied to your visa, right? So you don't want to mess that up, right? Your TRC, temporary resident card, right? That allows you to stay here for, to stay in Vietnam. All right. So you just got to make sure that that's taken care of. And the cool thing is here, attorneys cost. We think in the West, it's like, oh man, it's going to cost me $2,000. It's going to cost me $3,000, $5,000, $20,000. No, USD. No, it costs you about $100, $200 to get an attorney on retainer, right? Get him on retainer, maybe $500, and then he's on retainer for you. So yeah, unpaid salaries. This one is a big one, big one. So companies here, they'll make it. So what they'll do is they'll make it sound great on their like Facebook ad or their whatever. It's usually Facebook or these job postings here. So they make it sound all rosy and everything, right? And they give you the price and they do all this stuff, but they do little tricks like they won't put net or gross, right? They'll just put a salary out there and you're like, okay, that's cool. Let's say, for example, they'll say, we're going to put 60 million, right? So 60 million is about 2,000 USD, right? 2,000 USD to like 2,300, right? Just say that. So 60 to 65 million. They say, okay, they put that out there on the Facebook ad and it says, you see this big 65 million, right? A month. And you're like, oh, shoot. Okay. So you do the math. It's 2,000, whatever. You're like, okay, that's really good, right? For like a Monday through Friday gig, doing public school teaching, it's that's really good salary, right? $2,000. All right. So you go, okay, cool. So you contact him, give him all your information, and then they go for an interview. You pass the interview, and then next thing you know, you start working with them. When you start working with them, 30 days, because we get paid once a month. So every 30 days, you get your paycheck. Whether they miss your payday could be like on the 10th of every month or on the 5th or on the 8th, right? So they don't pay you, right? They go, oh, we make excuses. Oh, they'll send out a little email, the email, and say at 5 o'clock, PM when you're done with your work, or 6 p.m. when you're in your class, right? And they're like, oh, sorry, we had a delay. It's some sort of, misunderstanding or something happened, some error. And I've had this many times. Okay. So I've seen it many times. And so then they'll say, we'll pay you the next business day, which is like that Monday, right? So it gives them the weekend to like wiggle, do something, whatever. And then next thing you know, Monday comes and it's another email, and then it's another email, and another, right? And then next thing you know, it's been like a month, and then they owe you 2 months, right? So here it's just be careful, because a lot of companies here they know the labor law, right? And so in my situation, they just failed to get my work permit in time. So I was working illegally, right? And so it wasn't a good thing, right? Because I had no recourses when I'm illegal working, and just gotta be careful, man. All right, so that's for jobs. Sorry, that's long-winded. Okay, rentals, apartments. So here you're gonna pay your first month rent and a deposit equal to your first month rent. Okay, in the more high ends, you're probably gonna do 2 months and then 1 month deposit of that, whatever the price is. So just be aware, the higher the price of your apartment, the more deposit you need to give. Okay. So you either have 1 month or 2 months to give up front. So generally 1 month and another month of deposit. So generally 2 months. Sometimes you're going to have 3 months that you're going to have to give up. Okay. So keep that in mind. Landlords are notorious for you live out your year, and then next thing you know, you're moving out, and Vietnamese don't like that. You're messing up the money, and it's complicated. And next thing you know, you don't get your full deposit back. You did everything you could here to make sure the apartment was better than when you received it. Be careful. Take video. Side note, take video when you move in of everything. All right. Just put it into your Google Drive and leave it there. Okay. Leave it there, because it's going to come up when you want your full deposit back. You're going to be like, hey, because Vietnamese are very notorious for being like, oh, you did this and that, and you did that, and you did that. Be careful, okay? Because it's these little things that just freak with your mind, and you're like, bro, why the fuck am I even here, man? You know what I mean? Like, why are you trying to do me dirty, bro? You know? And it's everywhere here. So you got to be careful, all right? So deposits get stolen, meaning they'll nitpick something, and then they'll just take your money. And they'll give you like, I don't know, let's say you paid 1,000 USD and they give you 200 USD back, you know, and you gave them the apartment more perfect. That's not even a word. You gave it better than when you got it, and they give you back $200. That's crazy, right? Yeah, I've had some landlords try to do that to me as well. And if you want a video on that, an actual video about how to, to spot that, put it in the comment section, like, yes, please, all right, or something. Do that video. Surprise fees. This is huge, right? Be careful in the contract when you're signing with your landlord. The landlord will always try to slide something in there, The sliding is you as the renter are required to do all the maintenance on your building, on your apartment. That's not common here. Okay? That is not common because this is not our building, right? This is their building. So they got to do that. So a lot of real estate landlords are trying to wiggle that in there, you know what I'm saying? Because you are the foreigner. You're the foreigner. You have more money, right? They're just trying to slowly take money out of your pocket, just little by little, not all landlords, okay? I've had some really good ones. And they gave me all of my deposit back. So generally what I would do is I would just sit there. I would come in when I move out on that moving date. I would have the landlord come in here or the manager or whatever and walk through all of this, just like you would do it back home, yeah? And then what I would do is I would tell them if they try to start nitpicking, oh, I see this, send them that video, okay? Send them those videos you had, back in the day when you moved in, send it to them and say, this is the condition I had. And then you're like, boom, gotcha. You know what I mean? So, and then landlord disputes, all right? Landlord disputes. These landlord disputes, it's very few and far between, I'll be honest, because most landlords they have to have a special permit to rent to foreigners. So they're already putting money into an investment. So they don't want to piss off foreign people or yet alone Vietnamese people. So I just want you to know that like I'd say 75% of Vietnamese people are amazing people. Like really. It's just that 30% that seem to have like everything. They have everything, like apartments, the companies you work for, you know what I mean? And it's like, why are you guys so shitty? Like why are these Vietnamese so shitty to us? And then when you live here, you realize they're shitty to each other. All right. So, anyways, so this right here, common contract traps. Just be careful, man. All right. The jobs, just the fake schools, the illegal contracts, and the unpaid salaries. I'm gonna get to some examples here in a minute, but as well as your rentals, right? So you're looking for an apartment. These are the two most important things you're gonna need when you move to Vietnam. If you're not a retiree, okay? If you're a regular, non-retiree, you're gonna be looking for a job and you're gonna be looking for a place to rest your head. So it's not always the best thing to hotel hop And the reason why I say this is because you get obviously a better deal with an apartment, with the right apartment, right? See, the real estate agents, they're the middleman between the owner and you. So they're looking to make all the money, and the owner is looking to make money. So you have to understand those two are in cahoots with each other. They're in cahoots with each other. All right. What's your recourse? You're all by yourself, right? You don't know nothing, right? So understand that your real estate agent gets a kickback not only from the price that that they charge you, because it's going to be 30 or 40% higher. Just saying. All right, let's get into. We'll come back to this. Let me remove you, and let me share my screen with you guys. Give me a minute here. I appreciate you guys rocking with me, man. Really appreciate you guys rocking with me. Let me see here. Let's go back, share my screen. Yes. Go like this. All right. So we're gonna read this. And this is pretty, like, you guys gotta understand, getting a job here is pretty, this kind of scam stuff, you're gonna get scammed more in your job than you will anywhere else. All right. So it's important. You're going to spend a lot of time there as well. I see we have some comments. Let me look. Hold on one second. Sorry. K-Dog says, seems like Vietnam has many traps. Yes. Yes, sir. It sure does. What's up, K? How you been, brother? Hope you're doing all right, my man. Long time no here. I hope you're doing great, bro. Thanks for the comment. And Lakaya, Britain, I don't know. I'm sorry. I know I'm butchering that. I'm all ears. Yeah. I saw your comment. So on one of the videos. Yeah. Thank you for that, and thank you for your comment here. Yeah. I'm giving you the skinny. I really am giving you the skinny here. All right. So again, if you're just joining us, we're into the common contract traps. All right. So be all eyes and all ears. All right. So this Redditor says Vietnam job offer. Contract red flag advice request. It says, hi all. I'm moving to Vietnam soon in hopes of teaching for at least a year. I applied to a few of the well-known employers while still in my home country, and thankfully have received an offer from one. Dun, dun, dun. However, there are a few red flags in the contract that I don't love. You're going to get to understand that in Vietnamese contracts, you ain't going to love all of it, okay? You got to give and take, all right? Give and take. You can't take everything, okay? They're giving you, the thing is that if you're a teacher, you're in the top 10% of income earners in Vietnam. Period. You're in the top 10%. All right. So if you're able to land a job and you're making 40 million, you're making 50 million, 60 million, 70 million, 80 million, 90 million, 100 million. 100 million is like the top 1%. Okay. And I heard recently we're in the top 4%, to be honest. I don't know if that's true, but you're in the top 4% of income earners in this whole country. So that's kind of the trade-off. You know what I mean? I'm hoping to get the community's advice. Okay. Initial contract terms, 2 months. Yeah, that's probationary. 2 months usually is a probation. If I quit at any point during this 2 months, I owe 40 million to the employer. That's a huge red flag. Run. Okay, run. It's not uncommon, though. It's not uncommon. Also, I must leave the country immediately. Okay, yep, that's an exit visa. Because remember, your employment is tied to your visa. Okay. Hopefully, Vietnam will separate those two, but I don't know. I think it's pretty unlikely. If I complete this 2 month contract and the employer offers me another contract but I decline. I owe 30 million to the employer for recruitment and legal expenses. This is AKA coffee money. Okay, bribe, AKA bribe. Okay, this is to the middleman. All right, middleman, and it doesn't cost 30 million. All right, it doesn't cost 30 million, but they're gonna split that however they choose. Plus 3 million V&D for work permit expenses. They could have covered this in here, but they're greedy. You see, I assume I also must leave the country in this case. Yes, you will have to. Sick leave is unpaid. That's a red flag, guys. I'm gonna tell you. Sick leave without a medical note equals unpaid plus I owe them 2 million. Wow, this is a terrible contract. Plus 1 million if I fail to inform managerial staff about class details on the day I'm absent. Let's read some more. 12 days annual leave. Okay, that's pretty common. That's paid. Okay. One of the companies I left for sick leave, the company I was with the longest here in Vietnam, my year one completed was great. They had good benefits. And then going into year two, they decided to, at the end of my year two, they decided to cut the sick leave. So we generally would have like 13 to 12 annual days. This is basic. Okay, this is Vietnamese thing, law. So 12, 13, 14 days, 16 days, whatever it is, okay? And then plus we used to have another 12 sick days, right? So these sick days, you can use them like your annual leave, your AL. You can use these, right? Your AL, see? Annual leave, AL. So you can use it just like your AL. You know, you don't want to come to work one day, you use a sick day, you know what I'm saying? And you'd be cool. So you'd have 12 days free to play with, right? Or if you didn't use them, then you could get paid on them at the end of the contract, right? They just would pay you out. So this is terrible right here. This is terrible. Okay. The working hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, Monday through Friday. And 8 a.m. to 12 on Saturday. So they have him working 6 days a week and basically no life. Okay, 23 of these hours are teaching hours. Look, you only have to work 23 hours of actual teaching. Okay, remaining hours are spent in the office. Oof, and lesson planning. Okay, if you don't know how to lesson plan, I recommend get familiar with lesson planning. Over the last few years, I'll say a lot of schools are like, they see how much time they waste. They see how much frustration has come from, having to waste our time, our free time, right? Mind you, you are here to kind of see the country, enjoy it, but you're here primarily to work, yeah? And so, but when you're working 6 days a week and Sunday you rest and you got to go back, you don't have much time. This is why people get burned out, you know what I mean? So he's asking, could I please ask anyone with working experience in Vietnam whether these conditions are standard? Ooh. If not, and more attractive roles exist, I think I'll take my chances and look for work when I arrive in Vietnam and convert to a working visa at that stage. That is a smart man. If you guys are outside of Vietnam right now and you don't have the opportunity to get into Vietnam, and then look for a job, your best bet is to be in Vietnam, look for a job. Okay, don't waste your time over abroad when you're home. Don't waste your time. Don't waste that time. Okay, what I would do if I were you is I would do research. I would understand, like, okay, this job seems good. I've seen reviews about this. And what I would do also is I would do the TEFL. I would just prepare myself for it, and there's nothing that can prepare you for actually being here, right? So I would just be doing my research, right? Find the jobs that are decent, talk to expats, it's kind of toxic on the Facebook groups when you post and stuff. It's getting a little bit better, but it's pretty toxic. These expats here, I don't know why they're such asses, but I'll never be an ass to you. All right. So if you have a genuine question and you really are looking for a way into Vietnam and have more of a smooth landing, definitely hit me up. And yeah, I got you for real. First week, let's see. Let's just read a couple of these comments. I forget which one I was reading. Okay, this one right here says, "Run, don't walk. Run, don't walk. This is absolute crap. Offer from a control freak employer." That is true. A lot. I'm just trying to give you guys the skinny about if you want to work here, if you don't want to work here. I mean, my thing is you should work in Vietnam. It tests your patience. It tests you so much and challenges you. If you like that kind of stuff, I do. I love that. But if you're not that kind of person, you get frazzled too easy, and you're like, well, these kids just shut the hell up, that kind of stuff. I wouldn't come here, or I would adjust my expectations and just ride with the punches, because generally, like, that's what Vietnam is about. You got to just ride with the punches, learn how they rock, and then you can kind of put your influence in there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So control freak. You'll see a lot of control freak employers. You will have no problem getting work on arrival. That is true. I promise you guys. If you have your documents and everything in order, if you need to know what that is, hit me up, okay? Then you're going to be just fine, okay? Boots on the ground from 2016 to 2020 and returned again in November 2022. Lots of work as usual, as always. Never sign an agreement that prevents you from taking side gigs. Absolutely, okay? These companies, they just want you for yourself. You're mine. You're mine. Okay. And so they just want you to be there. Be there. That's Vietnamese like culture, right? They get paid less so they can sit around all day, but they don't want to sit around all day. They want to get paid more, right? But the thinking of a Vietnamese employer is like, I'm paying you anyways. Okay. So you might as well just be there. And so you got find a good employer that's like, yo, if you don't have classes, you can go out and be around and do what you need to do. Be flexible. They're out there. Trust me. Eventually, if you have wits about you, you can live on side gigs, which tend to be much more lucrative, comfortable, easy, and fun private tutoring. This is what I'm doing now. I just started getting into it. Still have to pay your dues and work your way in some probably less than desirable entry jobs. Okay. So yeah, you're definitely gonna have to put in the work here. All right. I've had a sprinkle of private clients here and there, but now, so I've put in the work. And so parents are coming to me now and asking, because they know how I rock, they know how I get down. I got energy. There's no teacher out there that's like me here that I've witnessed, and that other Vietnamese have told me. Many. All right. If you have a good personality and you like to play, and have a good, be flexible, you're gonna thrive here. You're gonna thrive here. Trust me. You're gonna thrive here. Because every teacher's boring. Every teacher's just wants to clock in, clock out, right? If you actually care about these kids or your adults, that you're teaching, man, you're gonna get mad love. Let's see. I'm about to hit the hand. Okay, I'm assuming it's EMG. No. If you want to know what good jobs are, hit me up. We can have a consultation. I'll walk you through companies like EMG. This company had a bad reputation, in the past, but they cleaned it up. But that bad reputation is lingering. So this is a really good company that you could actually get into, and they're hiring right away, right? So what you'll do for EMG is you will do public school. You will teach in public schools, right? So let me give you an example. You could have a schedule like this, right? So a company like EMG that works from 8 a.m. to, let's say, 5 p.m., right? So you get a good, good 8 hours in every day, Monday through Friday, weekends off. And then you have a side gig, whether it's either private tutoring, tutoring English. There's millions of kids here. So you just got to get in and get to know them. That's paying your dues. All right. So you could get a private gig and get a couple of those. They'll pay you in upwards of 10 million. They could pay you in upwards of 5 million, right? Depending on the level of who they are. But you could get 10 million per kid, right? So theoretically, you can make more private tutoring with 2 kids than your day job, right? This is the thinking. If you want to work here, this is the mindset I want you to have, all right? Because if you're a hustler, you're going to make really good money here, right? But don't burn yourself out, because teaching can burn you out, right? So there have been bad experiences in Ho Chi Minh City, Facebook. Okay. Yeah. Also, that's a good point. There's a Facebook page that a few of them that have, it's called Bad Teachers Experience Ho Chi Minh City, Bad Teachers Experience Hanoi. So just Google those. Search those on Facebook. Bad Teachers Experience Hanoi, Bad Teachers Experience. Just search that, Bad Teachers Experience, and then it should come up. All right. I am a part of those groups as well. And so, yeah, I it's a nice community, man. Really good resources. What I always do now is I always go apply to a job, and then I go straight. I'll look at the job. I'll go to Facebook, right? Then I go to Google, right? So I check out all their reviews, right? And I just go into those Facebook groups. I search the company's name, and then all that junk comes up. If nothing comes up, cool. Then the cool thing about these resources is that if nothing comes up, you go on that Facebook group and type, "Hey man, I just got a job offer from this company. Anybody heard anything?" And then next thing you know, some people will start commenting. Bro, I'm telling you, the community here in Vietnam in general is really good about their experiences, because there's a lot of experiences that's happening to all of us in different aspects, different aspects, right? At the same time. So what happened to me, it has happened to hundreds of thousands, if not foreigners here, right? In different levels. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna stop that. Okay. So yeah, those are the job stuff. Okay. Illegal contracts. I could show you guys some contracts, but I'm just gonna keep anonymity. Unpaid salaries. Give me a minute. Let me get that going, and let me share my screen with you guys. Just give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go like this. Let's open that. That's what I'm looking for. Just give me a minute. So yeah, let me see if I have any comments and go from there. Sorry guys, you guys are building up a little bit on me. Paper bag. Brother, thank you. You're amazing, brother. Thank you. What up, brother? He says, "What up, Kev? What's up? What's up? What's up, man? Thanks for that, brother. I appreciate the super chat, brother. Thanks. Love. All right. My boy TBT. What's up, brother? Says, "What up, Kev? I am locked in. Great info, bro. Yeah, I appreciate you, my brother. How's everything going on out there? I hope you're good, brother. Thanks for the comment." My boy K-Dog says, See you soon in VN. Yes, sir. All right, brother. You know where I be. So I'll see you soon, all right? Appreciate that, Marco. Appreciate that, man. Let's go like this. Let me get that off the screen. All right. So let me continue. Let me continue real quick. Sorry, I'm looking for some signs of. Okay. So let me share this with you guys. Bear with me. Share screen. Once. Yes. Okay. So again, how can you spot? So my job here is to show you guys how you can spot fake job postings just in general. Okay. So what I'll say is that just be alert. Okay. My mind when I go look for a job, and let me tell you this. Hiring season is from May. Let me put this in the comments. Hiring season from May, end of May to July. All right, let me highlight that for you guys. Okay, hiring season is from end of May to July. All right. So that's when you guys just missed it. All right. I mean, honestly, I've never had so many jobs be like, yeah. I was like, damn, okay, bet. I felt like a superstar. I was like, okay, cool. They're like, no, we just need 1,000 teachers. So yeah, that's when you'll get the best chance. Yeah. Outside of the hiring season, I would say check out these English centers. There's a lot of English centers I wouldn't go to. Okay. I wouldn't go to. All right. Just hit me up. All right. Don't be afraid. Just hit me up, message me, ask me a few questions. And then, yeah, we can get into a consultation and stuff. All right. So be aware. This is from Manpower. If you can see up here in the upper left, Manpower. Okay. Everybody's familiar with Manpower. If you're not, Manpower is a temporary agency that they have millions and millions of people around the world that work for companies. Like obviously you can tell, they just work for companies. Anyways, temporary staff. The beautiful thing about the world's economy is that most of these big, huge corporations, they only have a really tiny internal staff, right? And so everything else is a third party. Everything else is a third party. So just like the government. So Manpower is the same way, okay? And they have Manpower Vietnam, okay? It says, be aware of job and task scams. At Manpower Vietnam, we have become aware of a widespread scam involving the impersonation of them, Man Group. This was true. I remember this. Of Manpower Vietnam Company Limited. These fraudulent practices misuse our brand, yada, 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 yada. Okay. And here are the examples of the red flags. They have calls. Victims may receive calls inviting them to accept free gifts from known brands or e-commerce platforms. Invitations on groups on social media. Scammers may send invitations to join chat groups named, Manpower, whatever, right? They do it on Zalo, Facebook. Zalo is like a WhatsApp, but it's Vietnamese. Okay, it's really dope. Facebook, Telegram, which is no longer, so don't worry about that. I mean, they banned Telegram here, and then TikTok. Okay, if I'm you, I'm sticking to these. Just stick to these things. Okay, go to verified, qualified Vietnam job postings. Go to Indeed, like the US Indeed, INDEED.com. Go there, search. LinkedIn is fast becoming a resource here that most jobs go there and search Vietnam teaching jobs, yeah, or whatever you do, right? Software engineer Vietnam, and then see what comes up, But anyways, yeah. So LinkedIn, Facebook. So this is where you're gonna find a lot of these scammers. All right. So not all jobs are created equal. So just all right. I believe that's basically what I want to talk about this side of jobs. The rentals, that's a whole another thing. So just give me a minute and let me see what we got. See if I got any good stuff on that. No, I didn't really pull anything for that. But yeah, anyways, the rentals, just make sure I'm actually building a website for this this in particular to do reviews. Like you can review landlords because there's really nothing here. There's no resource for that here. So yeah, I'm developing that site already. So stay tuned. I'm telling you, there's some big stuff happening behind the scenes. All right, let's get into segment number 2 now. Segment number 2. Okay, red flags to watch. Okay, so again, number 1, this is going to be for both work and rentals, right? So in the contract, number 1, no clear terms or translations, excuse me. So every contract in Vietnam needs to be in Vietnamese here, and on the bottom it needs to have English. All right. If you only have English, then it's no good. Okay. And they'll say that in the courts. Okay. It needs to be clear. Vietnamese first, English second. Okay. Don't be tricked on that. That's like contract 101 here. Okay. It needs to have both languages. Okay. For it to be binding. Okay. Number 2, no mention of work permits or taxes. Okay. These are for your jobs. If the contract doesn't say anything about like we offer you, because generally in the Facebook group postings and the adverts, they'll usually say sponsored or sponsored WP work permit. So it's important, it's imperative that you ask those questions. Do you offer a work permit and a TRC? Do you offer a TRC visa, TRC, temporary resident card, and a work permit, WP, work permit, okay? It's important because that work permit is what that got me fucked up. Excuse my language, but okay? So if they don't say anything about no work permit or paying taxes, right? Net gross, right? Generally, most jobs adverts will say gross, and they're referring to gross, all right? You have to ask them the question, is this gross or net? In the contract, it's supposed to specify that, okay? Gross or net, right? So document everything. Document everything, man, because they like to be slick with their mouth and they say this, hey, so yeah, no problem. You ask, hey, is that gross or is that net? And they'll say, that's net. That's net in your mouth to your face. Okay. All right, bet. You said net, right? Yes. Okay. You go look in the contract, the thing says gross. You're like, whoa. I thought you said this was gross. I mean net. They're like, oh no, because you're talking to a whole different person now. You're talking to the HR, but the person who promised you was the middleman, remember? And so they'll be like, oh, well, we don't, that they're just the middleman. No, they knew this. They mess up. It must be a misunderstanding. You know what I'm saying? And so they'll get you on that. 9 times out of 10, they'll get you on that. So make sure they mention work permit and TRC. Okay, the work permit and TRC is like ebony and ivory. Okay, And for y'all who don't know Ebony and Ivory, I'm gonna say white on rice. Okay, they together, TRC and work permit. Okay, and then taxes, it's a must. Okay. So number 3, hidden penalties for extra charges. You saw those on the Reddit, right? You got to pay 30 million if you quit. You got to, pay 40 million if you quit. You got to pay 30 million if you leave after the 2 month. These are extra charges. Okay. And this says for rentals, but I'm going to say for jobs as well. Okay. That those penalties, those penalties are like, we just want to take your money. We just give us a reason to take your money. And Vietnamese companies are they're very prone to making hella excuses. At the very end, you put your blood, your sweat, your frustrations, your timeliness, right? You put all that into one solid year, right? And you're like, yeah, I'm about to get this bonus. Okay, bet. And then they're like, yeah, nah. Like, huh? Excuse me? Nah, because we had to do this extra charge, this and this and this. And I'm like, bruh, nah, that's not what you said. So you have to be crystal clear. All right. And then I'm going to do a poll. This is my reminder. Okay. So have you ever signed? Have you guys ever signed? And this is, you can put it in the comment section if you want. Okay. Have you ever signed any kind of contract without reading? You're like, nah. No. Unless they had 2 or 3 million USD, be like, yeah, I'll read it. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let me grab some resources for you guys that I pulled up, and we'll go over it and we'll talk about it, man. You guys have any? How you guys feeling out there right now? Am I going a little too fast, too slow? Do you guys understand this stuff a little bit more? Things to look out for. How you guys feeling out there? Talk to me. Y'all awfully quiet today. I don't know. What y'all doing over there? All right, so let's go like this. So we're going to talk about now, I'm going to just 10 tips to avoid job scams as an inspiring expato. I'm telling you guys, man, just be careful, man. Just be careful, because this thing it's the difference between having a more comfortable life or having to tap into your resources back home. You know what I'm saying? And my goal for you guys is that I want you to thrive here, thrive here, thrive. We all have different resources, talents. Thrive here, and don't let these people here, the bad ones, make it a bad impression on you. I'm a vet. I've put in the work here. Okay. I understand that it is not indicative of how the Vietnamese people rock. All right. A lot of this stuff here, it's just negative, but it's something that needs to be covered, because it's something that you may or may not, experience once you get here. So I've had pockets of these experiences. I've seen many people have it worse than I'll be honest. Okay. Many people have had it much worse than me, but I'm just here to cover it for you guys, because no one's talking about it. Nobody. Okay. Gone are the, remember, 10 tips to avoid job scams. Gone are the days when it's just the mythical Nigerian prince promising you lottery winnings in your inbox. Scams have evolved big time, and nowadays they're much trickier to spot. If you're an expat or considering becoming one and on the hunt for a job abroad, things can get really murky. You got a job interview to ace, work visas to secure, and rent to pay, all of which could make you an easy target for scammers. Okay, we're gonna brush through this. We ain't gonna read all of it. Okay, so number 1, research the company. Yeah, trust me, this could have saved me a ton of like I'm so good when it comes to like researching when I apply to jobs. And I think that, like, honestly, this the company that screwed me, I just missed researching them as fully as I wanted to. I know it sounds really stupid, but even I learned, because I've gotten off on no pun intended pause. Okay, uh, but I've gotten off pause because on a lot of companies have been pretty great to me, man. I mean, honestly. And so, yes, I did the light research on other companies and did the light research on this other company, but that screwed me. But it was something I did not expect because I didn't do the deep diving that I typically would do for another job, and I didn't take my own advice. So take my advice, research the company, okay, on all platforms as much as you can. Don't just stick to like one, okay? Do multiple, okay? So it's critical to do your homework on a company you're hoping to work for. Seek out official website, verify their contact details. You think that this is like, duh, but so many people, including myself, we just brush over it because we're so damn busy doing other shit. It's like, be present. It just takes 5 to 10 to 30 minutes to do proper research on a company, and you'd be like, yep, no, and save yourself some headache. Seek out their official website, verify their contact details, and check if they have a physical address. Okay, any legit business will have a registered tax, will be registered, and will have their name in taxes, the tax records. Okay, look that up. All right, you can do that here. Okay. Um, some may be a lot harder than others to come across, but again, remember, you got an attorney. Utilize him, right? He's on attorney. This is what they do. Well, you got to ask them to do it, but you have them on retainer already. If you have multiple jobs, multiple job offers, I would give him all of them, or her all of them, and then let them, comb through it all for you and be like, give me the summary. Be my chat GPT in real life, please. Okay. Even if the company is well known, don't let your guard down. This is facts. Okay. Facts. Because my very first, if you guys saw the interview that I did on Ramel's channel, Making It Abroad, at Making It Abroad. It's 2 hours. I know it's long. I watched all of it in one sitting. Okay. But I spoke on this in detail. You should go check that conversation out, because I broke down a lot of what I've experienced here on a more personal level. So Making It Abroad, that's Ramel's channel. Go check out that video. There's only 2 videos on there, and I'm the second one. Okay, it's my interview. So go check it out. Go support my boy. And like that video as well. Make sure you Okay, let me see. I'm sorry. Yeah. So getting back to it, don't let your guard down. So a very well-known company called Apex, APAX. Okay. They were huge. Okay. And they were the best job I've had so far. I'm not going to even cap. Okay. I got my very first job. I got it myself by going on to job boards, Facebook, right? And combing through hundreds, if not, I'll say hundreds of posting a day. Seriously, on multiple platforms, looking for jobs. Okay. And I found them. All right. Combing through. I was in the weeds, and they were great. They paid me the best. They were a center, an English center that had a great concept, and it was less invasive on teachers, and the kids seemed to really enjoy it. And so they bridged that gap, and they paid great. And so it was cool. I was having a great time until they started having money issues. And fast forward, the founder got arrested. I think he got convicted, and he stole money from the company through investments and blah 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 blah. Right. Anyways, I did a video on that as well. Look in it's probably about 8-9 months ago, and it's about Trung My Lan and Shark Tweet is his name, because he was on Shark Tank here in Vietnam. So the big guy, big dude, like really popular guy, and he got taken down. Guys, check that video out, man. It's right next to the VinFast video. Anyways, so don't let your guard down. Okay. Even my point is, even if it's a big company, they can still screw you big time. I experienced it. Okay. Make sure they have an actual website, blah, blah, blah. Great. Verified job offers and check company contact info. It goes without saying. All right. We just went through that. Yeah. So go on the other social networks, right? Make sure that they have, if they have a presence, go check it out. This is the deep dive you do, find out who the people that works there. Make sure this is a legit company. It's I know it sounds tedious, but it's so important here in Vietnam. It's so important. All right, let me get to a comment here. I got some comments. Lakaya says, scammers are insane. Yes, they really are. Yes, they really are. Thanks for the comment. And she back again that says, thanks for your insight. And you said my name right. Oh, I did. Nice. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Yeah, go on LinkedIn. Again, I'm telling you guys the nitty gritty stuff, like what actually happens here, what we do as expats, where we look for. Okay. Yeah, the cat's out. Okay. Go on LinkedIn. All right. Nobody, you wouldn't think, but LinkedIn's been blowing up here in Vietnam. Big time. So everybody's putting their little profiles on there. You know what I mean? So anyways, it's just a smart move to scope out the job, and the recruiter, that's important. Legit companies and recruiters usually have a solid online presence. This is true. Okay. It's really big here in Vietnam. Okay. If you have an online presence, you're probably pretty big. Okay. Verify recruitment agencies. This is huge. This is huge. There's millions of recruiting agencies here. Seriously. Okay. And a lot of them do a lot of different things, So these guys right here are the middleman trying to make that money, They're the middleman. So they're the ones that are gonna promise you, heaven, and then you get there and then it's hell. You're like, you lied to me. You know what I'm saying? So don't verify. Okay. Make sure you verify. I would definitely, and how do you verify? I would ask a buddy who already lives here, just, hey man, do you know any jobs? Do you know any good jobs? Do you know where I can, even if you get a little bit of a lower pay, 35 million, 30 million, at least you're in. You know what I mean? It's important to get in, and then you can maneuver. All right. You can't do shoo outside of Vietnam. Just can't. Okay. Badly written email communication. Yes. Remember that this ain't their first language, English. Okay. That's all I got to say. Simple as that. You got to read between the lines or ask them to clarify. That saves you guys so much headaches. I'm really giving you guys everything I'm spitting out right now. I'm giving you facts. All right. You can take that to the bank. I'm telling you, just ask them, hey, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Okay. Request their personal information. Yes. Unprofessional job interviews. This one is big. Showing up late. Okay. Have you noticed how the pandemic has totally flipped job interviews on its head? A lot of them are happening over calls or apps like Zoom. Google Meets, and so on. And let's be honest, if you're hoping to work abroad, it doesn't really make sense. Doesn't really make sense to shell out a plane ticket just for an interview. But here's the thing: you've got to be extra careful if an interview is only conducted through messaging apps, or if they seem overly interested in your personal info. Yes, because there's a lot of info farming here, a lot of information farming here. Okay. So I can't tell you how many jobs I've sent my resume to. Um, Hell, I'll be honest, even my passport details, right? Just to verify I'm American, you know what I mean? Hire me, and they have not gotten back to me. Now, where's my information gone? You know what I'm saying? I know hundreds of people are doing the same thing here. Okay, so be careful. Where am I at? Extra careful. Right here. Real deal employers usually stick to official channels for interviews and keep the conversation focused on job-related stuff. And yes, even with remote interviews, there are always ways to check if everything is good. Yes, I totally agree. All right, do your research. Trust me, it's going to save you a lot of headache. All right, because again, you do your research. You say yay or nay. If you say yay, then you go through the process. Now you understand. You've seen this video. You were live with me. You understand that I got to look out for this. I already heard this from Kev. I got to look out for this. I got to look out for this. You know what I mean? Making you more educated helps you with headaches. Okay. You know what the right questions to ask these employers and landlords. Okay. Let employers, legit employers will want to know about your skills and experience. Yes. They'll ask questions that relate directly to the job. Yes. And remember, you should feel free to ask questions as well. That is true. Health benefits, turnover rates, workplace culture, anything that helps you. Yes, I agree. Totally agree. Upfront payments. Be wary of jobs and job offers that want you to cough up some cash up front, like things for visas, work permits, or other processing fees. Real employers typically either foot the bill for these costs or take them out of your paycheck. That is facts. I can't tell you how many people I've seen, talked to, and see online that says, yeah, they asked me for $1,000 and I sent it to them. Huh? Excuse me. Yeah, crazy. And I mean, I totally understand getting excited for a new opportunity, a new, like, this is like the Wild Wild East over here. Like, come on, baby, let's go. However, the Wild Wild East ain't the Wild Wild West, and there's no protection for you generally in the Wild Wild East yet. So be weary. Okay, never, and I repeat, never send upfront payments for a job. Never for an apartment. Never. I don't care how beautiful the apartment is. I don't care how desirable the job is. They're gonna pay you $100 million a month. It doesn't matter. Never. Okay, never. Because then you're gonna be blocked, and then it's a scammer. Okay. Let's go like this. And let's say a company hires you on Monday, and then by Tuesday morning, they're waiving a large amount of check. Yeah, I just said it, at you to buy home office supplies. Or they might even ask you to pay. Okay, who cares? Okay. Check the contract and legal requirements. Yeah. Again, remember, you hired that attorney. You have him, you have her, right? Send that contract over to him, her. Okay. Make sure that they'll comb it for you, right? Don't rely on anybody but yourself. You also must read the entire contract, front and back. Don't just send it over to your attorney and say, give me the cliff notes, please. No, You have to do it because you're the one who's going to live it. Okay? Trust me. Trust me. Okay? Before putting pen to paper and signing an employment contract, make sure that you have given it a good once over. Check that everything's crystal clear and that there aren't any sneaky little clauses hiding in fine print. That's it. I'm gonna stop right there. That's it. It's going there. I'm gonna tell you, 9 times out of 10 there are. Okay, so check those out. If something seems too good to be true, it probably isn't real. Facts. Okay, facts. Sometimes they just have poor English. Sometimes they just have poor English, and it's a great opportunity. So just do your research. All right. And that's all I want to share for that. So, let's see. Anyone have any comments? I don't see any. So let's keep moving to our next segment is how can you protect yourself? Basically, I've been giving you guys practical ways to basically do that, is protect yourself. So let me pull some stuff I just got. So give me a minute and we're gonna go over to that. So just bear with me here. And we're gonna go like that. Okay. Cool. Bear with me. All right. So as far as, let me share my screen with you guys. Which one do I want to pull up first? Yes. Okay. I got 2 for you. Okay. So frequently asked questions about expats working in Vietnam. Okay. With a flat world, and I don't believe it's flat, FYI, and a rapid increase in foreign investment in Vietnam, more and more expats entering Vietnam for work. However, not all enterprises and expats can correctly understand the regulations of Vietnam, regulations of Vietnam law of the employment of expats. All right. Yes. So that is true. Okay. This is what I'm starting to understand is that a lot of employers don't know dick about hiring foreign employees because the laws are changing so fast. And even a few years ago, so I'll be honest, I didn't have any issues up in the north other than Apex. The north, for some reason, I know why, but I'll tell you why. But for some reason, and the reason is that the North people are more organized and the government is up there. So the government don't play. So they like to have, everything, in a box. Everything is tight. Down here in the South, it's all willy-nilly down here, man. So they're far from the government and they feel like we can do whatever the hell we want. And that's reflected in everything here. Be careful. Okay. There's that. So I'm starting to understand that employers in the North were great. They were great. But in the South here, they just suck, man. I mean, I'm just going to give you guys straight. I don't know how to be else, So what are the conditions that an expat must satisfy to work in Vietnam? Obviously, you got to be 18 or older and have full capacity. You have to have a professional. So this, for English teaching, is going to be your TEFL and your degree. Your TEFL and degree. Processing a work permit. See? It's right. It's so important that it's bold. Okay? Understand how important that is. All right. And then obviously there's other stuff. So you got to get a work permit. Doesn't even say your TRC. It just says work permit. That is so important. I can't tell you. Can expats enter the indefinite term? Nah, we don't worry about that. Let's see. I will put this in here for you guys, and you guys can check out this resource. I don't really want to go over it right now live. So here, you can check this out, and I just put it in the comment section for you. All right, so let's go like this. So basically, how you can protect yourself is just come holler at your boy. Come holler at your boy. All right, for real, for real. I would ask yourself. I would ask. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, I'll keep it. So I would ask people questions about the job. I would ask people like, "Yo, did you have you worked here before?" Blah 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 blah. Okay, I would definitely ask questions before I sign anything, whether it's a apartment or whether it's a job. Number two, I would definitely get everything in writing. Everything, 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 everything. And let me just give you a little nugget. If I would try I would just translate my English into Vietnamese while I'm talking to the Vietnamese person, whoever, because it'll save you guys time and money in the future. If you have to go sue them, you don't have to get it translated. That's going to save you guys hella information. Okay, save you time. Trust me. Talk to them in their native language. You don't have to get it translated from English to Vietnamese. All right. So get everything. Number two, get everything in writing. Everything. Get everything. Okay. Number three, using local contacts or legal help. Yep, I've been saying it. I've been telling you guys. You wanna get a good job. This is what I would do differently. Is I would have a retainer. I would have a retained attorney, employment attorney. Period. Business and employment law attorney on retainer, and then I would just give them all of your contracts. Okay, and then make sure you read all your contracts. Okay, so if you don't have an attorney, you have a reliable person that lives here in Vietnam that maybe you made friends with that you trust. I would actually ask them like, hey, what do you think about this? Okay, the more questions you ask, the better, because one, you got to understand Vietnamese are starting to think about dealing with foreigners. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by that? If you don't, they're they're not used to us. So how we do business and how they do business is like polar opposites. And like you got to kind of mesh that together, right? Example, we like everything in terms of like on paper. Give me anything. What's the best deal you can give me, and then how and what can you give me for the best deal? And they're more like, give me everything, but then I'll nickel and dime you on the price, and then complain about it afterwards. I'm just saying, man. This is my experience. Okay, so I'm going to share some personal experiences with you guys. We're going to talk a little bit. It's going to be quick, and then I'm gonna get you guys out of here. Or I'm gonna open up if you guys want to talk. You guys can come on live. I'll drop the link. And yeah, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. So I'm gonna do some experiences now, and then the floor is gonna be open to you guys. All right, I'm done talking. So let's see. Bear with me, you guys, and then we're going to. Let me go like this. Boom. Let's see. Hang with me. Okay. Let me get rid of some of these tabs. We can open. Let me see if the growth. It's kind of basically what we've. Okay. That's some good info I want. Okay, so let me share with you guys. Just bear with me. And I appreciate you guys rocking with me, though, for sure. All right. So again, the legal stuff, visa and work permits. Okay. Visa and work permits. This is for a job. Okay. This is for you getting a job, you staying here in Vietnam long term. Okay. These are the basics of what you need right here. Okay. Plain and simple. You need a business visa to work here, and you need a work permit and a work permit, residence permit. Okay. These are the nitty gritty. TRC, your business visa is tied to your job and your work permit. Okay. So basically, again, tourists can't work, cannot work at all if you're a tourist. Okay. So this is what I wanted you guys to see. These are the types of expat jobs that are here in Vietnam. Okay. IT and software development, manufacturing. So IT is like Vietnam is poised for, I believe it's like 2045 plan, the 2045 plan, where they're planning on like developing like, till or when 2045 gets here. I'm trying to say 5 things at once. When 2045 gets here, Vietnam wants to be pretty much a huge IT and software development country, as well as a manufacturing company. Okay. So if you have any ties to manufacturing, you have anything IT or software development, look at Vietnam for this in particular, because Vietnam is like this. They're like they want to be like a Silicon Valley. Okay. The exports, huge. Exports are huge. Again, remember, these are the types of jobs and businesses, I may say, that if you want to start, that you should get into here now, like right now, like in the next couple years, in the next like 2 years, 3 years, get in here now. Seriously. Tourism and hospitality, I'm telling you, okay? This is why I'm starting a service academy based on this right here, tourism and hospitality. I'm telling you, it's huge. All right. Obviously, if you have a management company, get into management. All right. Consulting, huge. Foreign language education, very good. This is number one for most of us. Foreigners who come here, you'll start here, right? And then you find your way here, maybe. And then you start your own business. Start your own export business. Start a small manufacturing company. Manufacture something. China's right there. Get your parts from China. I don't know. I'm just talking, right? And then work your way, if you're in IT or in software, work your way into this, okay? With your own business, okay? We all start here. Okay? But we all get out after a few years, several years, okay? This right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says Vietnam Works. Vietnam Works is a really good resource, really good website. Vietnam Works. Okay. I think it's Vietnam Works. Oh, it's right here. All right here. I'll put this in the chat for you guys. Okay. VietnamWorks.com, expat.com, careerjet.vn. Check out all these. Okay. I will give you, what I'll do is I'll send you the resource as well. Let me put this in the chat here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go like this. That's the article. And here, that's the article. And here are where you can find your jobs. Here's where you can find some jobs. These are all, and this is all in, this is all in the comment section right now. This is the article. And this is what all the websites that you'll see on your screen right now. So anyways, yeah, guys, let's have a chat. If no one's here, then I see one person. If no one's here, then yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoy this this breakdown, because yeah, it's you just got to be careful, man. You just got to just be careful because it it's not it's not something that you should really be afraid of. But again, just prepare yourself for it because it's something that exists, you know? So if I'm you, I would reach out to someone like myself or someone like whoever that you have here in Vietnam and ask them some questions, man. Ask them a couple questions about apartment rentals, about jobs here, and if they can give you some solid information. I literally have given you some solid foundational pieces that you could take and get you a job, here in Vietnam. So yeah, guys, if you have, I don't, let me see if I have any other questions. I'm gonna go enjoy my day. um yeah, no more questions. So yeah, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. And for real, we are on our way to 5K subscribers, man. I'm really, 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 really thankful for you guys and really, really appreciative, man. You guys, I didn't think anybody was listening, you know. So apparently you guys are. So yeah, listen, I got you. I'll never lead you astray. So anyways, make sure you like this video on your way out so YouTube can push this. And yeah, I'm off to lunch. See you guys next week. Ciao.